Number 1. A country caught in pressure. Myanmar is a prime example of how geography can profoundly shape a nation. On the map of Asia, it sits between India and China, two centers of civilization that have strongly influenced the region for millennia. This location has made Myanmar a constant crossroads of cultural exchange, where streams of thought, religion, and art from South Asia and East Asia meet. Theravada Buddhism, originating in India, holds a dominant position, but in daily life, many rituals reflect Mahayana Buddhism, deeply rooted in Chinese tradition. In the temples of Yangon and Mandalay, Indian-style stupas appear alongside familiar motifs of dragons, clouds, and mythical creatures found in Chinese art. In the north, architecture also bears Tibetan influences, suggesting that Myanmar once lay on trade and pilgrimage routes connecting the Himalayan plateau with Southeast Asia. This crossroads has also led to centuries of migration. People from Tibet, Thailand, and Bangladesh have settled there, creating over 130 ethnic groups living together in a relatively small area. Myanmar is now ranked among the most ethnically diverse countries in Asia, making the construction of a unified power structure particularly difficult. Historically, its territory was divided into over 60 small states, frequently clashing over territory and control of trade. Only 3 dynasties managed to unify Myanmar, but each lasted only about a century before collapsing, causing constant interruptions in the formation of national identity. Geopolitically, Myanmar holds a particularly sensitive position. Situated near the Indian Ocean, the country serves as a gateway connecting inland Asia with international shipping lanes. In recent decades, Myanmar has become a strategic transit point for major infrastructure projects, including pipelines and economic corridors connecting China to the Indian Ocean, helping Beijing reduce its dependence on the Malacca Strait. At the same time, India also considers Myanmar a crucial link in its Look East policy. This competition makes it difficult for Myanmar to develop independently and stably in the long term. Besides political pressure, natural disasters are a constant challenge. At the end of March, a powerful 7.9 magnitude earthquake caused severe damage, killing over 3,600 people and injuring nearly 6,000. Economic losses are estimated at around $11 billion, equivalent to nearly 20% of GDP, and aftershocks even reached Thailand, causing a building to collapse in Bangkok. Myanmar lies on the Sagaing Fault Zone, one of the most active fault zones in Southeast Asia, making the risk of major earthquakes ever present. Since 1946, the country has recorded at least 7 earthquakes exceeding magnitude 7, while smaller tremors occur frequently. With recurring natural disasters, a society divided by ethnicity, and pressure from surrounding powers, what was once considered an advantage has become a burden, helping to explain why Myanmar has yet to escape the group of poor countries despite its enormous potential. Number 2. Men wearing skirts in the middle of the street. One of the most surprising sights for tourists visiting Myanmar is the sight of men wearing longyi, a type of wraparound garment similar to a skirt. Both men and women wear longyi, but the way it's tied clearly reflects gender differences. Men tie the fabric at the front of their waist, creating a neat and convenient silhouette for movement, while women tie it at the hips, giving the overall look a softer and more elegant appearance. In many countries like Scotland or India, similar garments are usually only worn on special occasions or traditional ceremonies. In contrast, in Myanmar, the longyi is present in everyday life. A survey in Yangon showed that over 80% of men wear longyi at least 5 days a week because of its coolness in the tropical climate. Even in government offices, the longyi is accepted as informal office attire, reflecting the degree to which tradition integrates into modern life. Along the streets, from urban to rural areas, betel nuts are sold at almost every street corner. Chewing betel nut is a common habit, making a smile with red teeth and lips a familiar image. A study in Yangon showed that Myanmar's annual betel nut consumption is equivalent to the combined consumption of the European Union, the United States, and China. According to local health reports, the rate of oral cancer in Myanmar is higher than the regional average, prompting the government to tighten related regulations. Many cities have issued bans on spitting in public to improve hygiene, although this long-standing habit is difficult to change in the short term. Regarding eating habits, Myanmar people usually only eat 2 meals a day, around 9 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. Shrimp or fish are almost always present in meals as they are considered essential for a fuller flavor. People eat with their right hand, while the left hand is considered unclean due to its association with personal hygiene. When giving or receiving objects, using the right hand shows respect. In many families, this rule is taught from a very young age as part of etiquette education rather than just a personal habit. In local pubs, if you hear 3 chuts from a waitress, it's simply a way to call a waiter. After this signal, the waiter will usually bring more beer to the table. Another interesting detail is that Myanmar people often drink beer from teacups. This habit is believed to have originated from traditional tea houses switching to selling beer but retaining the original serving utensils, creating a very distinctive image. For foreign tourists, beer in a teacup might be surprising, but for Myanmar people, it's just a familiar part of daily life. Number 3. Beauty bearing the mark of history. Myanmar women are rarely mentioned on international beauty pageant stages, but their beauty exists in a very different way. Many possess fair, smooth skin and well-proportioned faces, with large eyes and delicate noses that create a gentle, understated look. Instead of striking with boldness, this beauty is associated with a calm and natural demeanor. Traditional clothing, with its long, form-fitting skirts, contributes to an overall soft and refined appearance. When appearing in modern attire, faces like Chow, Mayad Noi, or Nangchin Zayar show that Myanmar women have a completely unique charm, not relying on global beauty standards. Walking around Yangon or Mandalay, it's easy to spot local women with a light yellow powder on their cheeks and foreheads. This is thanaka, a powder made from the bark and roots of a tree, used continuously for nearly 2,000 years. Thanaka is both a cosmetic and believed to cool the skin, reduce acne, and protect the skin from the harsh tropical sun. Over 70% of women in Myanmar use thanaka daily, creating a highly recognizable appearance. In recent years, many international cosmetic brands have researched thanaka as a natural ingredient with sun protection and skin-soothing properties. Demonstrating the value of this practice extends beyond traditional culture. UNESCO's recognition of thanaka as an intangible cultural heritage further strengthens its role in Myanmar's social life. In border areas, Kayan women are known for wearing brass rings around their necks from childhood. According to tradition, these rings were once considered amulets, protecting them from wild animals and the risk of abduction. Over time, the necklaces became symbols of pride and community cohesion. Some anthropological studies suggest that wearing these necklaces also helps Kayan women identify each other during long migrations, when the community constantly moves through various mountainous regions. Today, although many young people choose not to continue wearing the bracelets, the tradition is still remembered through family stories and local festivals. In the remote mountainous region of western Myanmar, Chin women wear traditional facial tattoos with distinctive patterns. Local legend tells that to protect their daughters from being abducted for their beauty, families tattooed their faces, transforming their fragile beauty into a powerful symbol. Each Chin group uses different patterns, helping to identify their lineage and living area, making the tattoos not only a symbol of protection, but also a social marker. Although this practice ended decades ago, the tattoos remain on the faces of older women as a living memory of the community's history and identity. Number 4. Civil war with no way out. Myanmar is mired in a full-blown crisis, considered the deepest period of instability since the country entered modern times. The 2021 military coup that overthrew the democratically elected government plunged the country into a civil war lasting over 4 years, with conflict spreading across many territories. More than 82,000 people have been killed, and approximately 3.2 million have been forced to flee their homes. Security has deteriorated to such an extent that Yangon, Myanmar's largest economic center, was ranked by Forbes as one of the 3 most dangerous cities in the world in 2024. In many residential areas, people live under an unofficial curfew, where gunfire and explosions can erupt at any time during the night. Currently, the military government controls only about 1/5 of the territory, the rest divided between ethnic armed groups, resistance forces, and local militias. In reality, this cycle of conflict has been brewing for decades. From 1948, when the Karen Forces emerged as the first ethnic armed organization, Myanmar entered a prolonged period of conflict. With 135 ethnic groups and nearly 100 languages, the country has become a particularly complex political space. Many armed groups now control trade routes, mining areas, and border regions, creating de facto autonomous zones outside the control of the central government. According to the Global Peace Index, Myanmar has consistently ranked among the 15 least peaceful countries in the world for nearly 20 years. In the 2024 Vulnerable Countries Index, it is also ranked among the top 10 countries at highest risk of instability or collapse. Maintaining this position for such a long time indicates that the conflict in Myanmar is structural, not just a short-term crisis. The consequences of the conflict are clearly evident in the lives of ordinary citizens. Many villages were burned down during the fighting, most notably Kinma, where over 40 gunmen set fire to a house, causing the flames to spread and destroy nearly half the village's homes. The British embassy accused the army of involvement, suspecting the village of supporting the insurgents. Humanitarian organizations noted that such village burnings have forced tens of thousands of people to live permanently in the jungle or in makeshift refugee camps on the Thai-Indian border. The security crisis quickly led to economic collapse. Inflation caused the kyat to depreciate drastically, to the point where just $10 could buy a kilogram of banknotes. The weakening local currency forced people to switch to US dollars for many daily transactions. This unofficial dollarization made it easier for those with foreign currency to survive, while the working class paid in kyat were increasingly pushed into a precarious situation. On the BBC, a young man named Win Tan said that inflation has left many families who once could afford meat with nothing but plain rice with salt, reflecting a rapidly declining standard of living across the globe. Number 5. A nation with discord. Myanmar is one of the most ethnically diverse countries in Southeast Asia, with over 135 ethnic groups coexisting in a relatively small geographical area. The largest community is the Bamar, with approximately 35 million people, accounting for nearly 68% of the population. They hold a dominant role in the government and military and use Burmese as their official language. In traditional Bamar society, men were associated with a special ritual of tattooing from the waist down to the knees. Boys aged 8 to 14 would undergo the tattooing process using sharp bamboo needles and ink made from charcoal ash and tree resin. The patterns often depicted tigers, dragons, the mythical Garuda bird, Pali script, and swirling motifs, symbolizing strength, courage, and spiritual protection. Researchers note that this tattooing tradition was most prevalent during the ancient dynasties, when tribal warfare was frequent and tattoos were seen as a form of spiritual armor for warriors. The Kayin are one of the few communities in Southeast Asia that retain a strong matriarchal structure. In many Kayin villages, women play a central role in the family, from dividing property to organizing spiritual rituals. Upon marriage, the husband often moves to live in his wife's community, and important decisions are led by the elder women. The Kayin's handcrafted weaving also reflects this social structure. The brocade fabrics feature patterns representing lineage, ancestral memories, and migration history. Each pattern not only holds aesthetic significance, but also serves to identify the Kayin community in the mountainous border regions. The Intha people, who primarily live on Inle Lake, are known as the inhabitants of the water. They are famous for their unique one-legged rowing technique, a method not found anywhere else in the world. An Intha man stands upright on the bow of the boat, wrapping one leg around the oar so that both hands are free to cast nets. This technique allows them to observe further across the lake and maneuver their boats nimbly through the reeds and floating gardens. Because Inle Lake is shallow and densely covered with vegetation, this rowing method is considered a perfect adaptation to its unique environment. The Mon people are considered a bridge between Myanmar and ancient civilizations. They were the first community to introduce Theravada Buddhism and the Pali script to this land. From the Mon, the monastic system, pagoda architecture, and Buddhist knowledge spread throughout the Irrawaddy River basin. Many historical records show that later Myanmar dynasties directly adopted the Mon model of religious and educational governance, extending their influence far beyond the population size. The Mon influence is still present in ancient temples, Buddha statues, and religious festivals, where the memories of thousands of years continue to be preserved. Number 6. The silent battlefield. While in many countries the internet is a space for connection, learning, and expressing personal opinions, in Myanmar it has become a silent battlefield between the people and the military government. Since the 2021 coup, Myanmar has experienced more than 450 internet outages, with many areas experiencing prolonged disconnections. The hardest-hit areas are often regions with strong resistance, such as Chin, Sagaing, Rakhine, and Karenni. When the internet disappears, the outside world seems to be wiped out, and people are forced to live in a state of fragmented information, relying solely on word of mouth. Internet outages are not only aimed at restricting access to information. In reality, they are also used as a cover. Before many airstrikes, electricity and internet are often cut off beforehand, making it impossible for anyone to call for help or record evidence. In 4 years, more than 8,000 airstrikes have been recorded, claiming the lives of thousands of civilians. Conflict monitoring organizations say many attacks only become known weeks later when people find ways to contact the outside world, highlighting the crucial role of the internet in recording the truth. In early 2025, the military government enacted a new cybersecurity law. This law not only prohibits the use of VPNs to bypass firewalls, but also empowers the government to monitor people's online activity. Accessing international news or communicating with relatives abroad can result in fines or imprisonment. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp are all blocked, and Signal will also cease functioning from 2024. For many Myanmar residents, social media was once the only channel for small businesses, receiving money from relatives abroad or accessing news, so being cut off means losing a part of their livelihood. Alongside internet control, nighttime curfews have become a permanent part of life. Some areas have eased restrictions over time, but many others remain strictly enforced. As night falls, the streets become quiet, lights dim early, and a sense of unease spreads. For many families, nighttime is no longer a time for rest, but a time to listen for every sound, trying to guess what might happen next. Number 7. Countries that live by sharing. When thinking of the most generous country in the world, many people often think of the United States, Switzerland, or other wealthy nations. However, for many consecutive years, according to the World Giving Index published by CAF, the top spot has belonged to Myanmar. This is a low-income country where people still face many hardships, yet its willingness to give surpasses most other nations. This stems from the Theravada Buddhist tradition, where the spirit of dana, or almsgiving, is understood as sharing what one already has, not giving away surplus. Throughout Myanmar, the sight of free water dispensers at doorsteps, meals prepared at temples for anyone in need, or people offering food to monks every morning has become a familiar part of daily life. Even after 2021, when the country fell into crisis, many people lost their jobs, prices soared, and millions of families were forced to leave their homes. These values have been maintained. People continue to share food, gathering whatever little they can to help their neighbors, offering strangers a cup of tea, a meal, or a beer as a reminder that no one is alone in difficult times. In Myanmar, the concept of wealth is not about money or possessions. It is expressed through kindness, through the way people treat each other, and through the belief that giving is the way to preserve community, culture, and spiritual life, even as circumstances change. Number 8. The city after the apocalypse. Nay Dao is one of the world's youngest capitals, less than 20 years old. Construction began in 2002 in central Myanmar, about 320 kilometers north of the former capital, Yangon. The government mobilized at least 25 businesses for the project, with a total cost exceeding $4 billion. Although officially the capital since 2005, it wasn't until 2012 that the infrastructure was fully developed to function as the country's administrative center. Many scholars believe the decision to relocate the capital was strategic, aimed at increasing control and security from a more central location. Naypyidaw is planned into functional zones. Residential areas are uniformly built with rows of 4-story buildings, using different roof colors to distinguish occupations. Ministry of Health employees live in the brown-roofed zone, while those working for the Ministry of Agriculture live in the green-roofed zone. Unlike the bustling image often seen in capitals, Naypyidaw has a tranquil atmosphere. Its vast open spaces and sparse population create a sense of emptiness for many first-time visitors. Myanmar has a population of approximately 54 million, with Yangon alone home to around 14 million, while Naypyidaw has less than 1 million residents. Notably, the city's planned area spans 7,554 square kilometers, nearly 4 times the size of London and about 6 times larger than New York. Its immense size relative to its population means many parks, avenues, and squares are rarely visited. The most noticeable urban activity is sanitation workers tending to the trees and streets. Aside from them, crowds are rarely seen. Myanmar's capital experiences virtually no traffic jams during rush hour. Visitors may see roads with up to 20 lanes, but only a few vehicles moving slowly. This scene creates such an unusual feeling that The Guardian once described Naypyidaw as resembling a post-apocalyptic American suburb. Number 9. The Land of Buddha Statues. Bagan is located in central Myanmar, in the Mandalay region, stretching across the arid land along the Irrawaddy River. Viewed from above, the entire area appears as a small desert, with red and yellow soil covering the horizon. The Bagan complex covers an area of approximately 104 square kilometers, containing thousands of temples and pagodas, mostly built in the 11th and 12th centuries, a period when Buddhism in Myanmar gradually transitioned from Mahayana to Theravada. In 2019, Bagan was recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site for its historical and architectural value and its continuous role in religious life over many centuries, and is considered one of the largest surviving Buddhist architectural complexes in Asia. One of the most memorable experiences in Bagan is watching the sunset. Visitors can choose from taller pagodas like That Bienyu or Damayangi, but the most popular is still Shwesandao Pagoda, often called the Sun Pagoda, thanks to its expansive and unobstructed views. The dry, sunny climate with few clouds makes the sunset behind the ancient pagoda towers a truly spectacular sight. In southern Myanmar, near the city of Phra An, the Kogun Caves are located on the slopes of an ancient limestone hill. Here, the natural landscape blends with religious art, creating a distinctly sacred space. Inside the caves are thousands of Buddha statues of all sizes, densely packed from the rock floor to the ceiling. Some are gilded, while many others are made of limestone, wood, clay, or marble. The sheer number is so great that it has been said even a 500-ton ship couldn't carry them all. Visitors must remove their shoes before entering the caves, so easily removable sandals are a suitable choice. In 2007, Kogun Caves underwent a major restoration aimed at preserving its rock structure and traditional religious values. Today, it still houses thousands of Buddha statues in various styles, interspersed with details influenced by Hinduism, reflecting Myanmar's long history of cultural exchange. Number 10. Fabrics that hold memories. In Myanmar, weaving is more than just a long-standing craft. For many women, it's a way to preserve their culture amidst prolonged conflict and displacement. When life is disrupted, the loom remains an integral part of their lives, and each piece of fabric created is not just for use, but to preserve the community's memory. In Mandalay, a cheik is considered the pinnacle of Myanmar's weaving. The swirling patterns, reminiscent of the Irrawaddy River, are created by manipulating 50 to 200 colorful shuttles simultaneously. A single piece of a cheik can take months to complete. More than just clothing, a cheik showcases a high level of technical skill and cultural pride passed down through generations of female weavers. At Inle Lake, Intha women weave lotus silk using a rare technique. They harvest lotus stems, extract the very fine threads, join short segments together, and then spin them into thread. The finished fabric has a natural light brown color, a slightly rough and light surface. This craft only exists in the lake area, passed down from mother to daughter as part of a life connected to the water and ancestral memories. In the Karen region, the loom is fixed to the weaver's waist. When weaving, they lean back to pull the thread taut and bend down to loosen it. The entire body participates in the fabric-making process. The red, white, and indigo patterns are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also indicate which village or clan the wearer belongs to. In the north, Kachin fabrics have a thick texture and bold colors such as black, red, and dark blue. Each type of fabric is used for different purposes, from weddings and festivals to traditional rituals. Thus, the fabric becomes a sign of status and the long-standing customs of the community. Number 11. When history takes a wrong turn. For decades in the 20th century, Myanmar was considered one of the wealthiest countries in Southeast Asia. It played a pivotal role in regional trade and was one of Asia's major rice exporters. In the early 1960s, its GDP per capita reached approximately $670, a very high income for the region at the time. This figure was 3 times higher than Indonesia, twice that of Thailand, and second only to the Philippines. Many economists believed then that if it maintained its growth momentum, Myanmar could become a major economic hub in Asia, with Yangon and other major cities being vibrant destinations for traders from India, China, and Europe. Beyond its trade potential, Myanmar also possessed a highly valued workforce thanks to its developed education system and high literacy rate in the region. This provided a foundation for the development of many industries. Simultaneously, its natural resources played a crucial role in the nation's strength. Myanmar possesses large ruby reserves and once supplied up to 90% of the world's rubies. Many internationally renowned rubies originate from Myanmar but are re-exported under other names, largely due to the smuggling of gemstones through Thailand and Hong Kong, resulting in significant losses of foreign exchange for the state over the years. Besides gemstones, Myanmar is also famous for teak wood, a highly durable and water-resistant timber. Mature teak trees can reach heights of up to 40 meters and trunk widths of 60 to 80 centimeters, making them particularly suitable for shipbuilding, high-end furniture, and handicrafts. For decades, teak exports were a crucial source of foreign exchange, contributing to its reputation as the Kingdom of Teak. However, prolonged exploitation with lax management led to overexploitation and resource depletion, undermining long-term economic benefits. Entering the modern era, Myanmar faces a completely different economic reality. According to the International Monetary Fund, Myanmar's GDP is currently around $68 billion with a population of approximately 55 million. Its economy is only about 1.5 times larger than Cambodia's, despite having nearly 3 times the population. Per capita income is around $1,200 per year, even lower than Cambodia and East Timor. This backwardness reflects decades of political instability, a closed economic policy, and resource exploitation that failed to generate inclusive growth, preventing Myanmar's once immense potential from being transformed into prosperity for its people. Number 12. Festival keeps life rhythm. The Thing Yan Festival holds a special place in Myanmar's cultural life as it is the New Year celebration according to the Theravada Buddhist calendar. Rooted in the concept of rebirth and purification, Thing Yan carries profound spiritual significance. In mid-April, cities like Yangon and Mandalay become bustling as people take to the streets to splash water, watch traditional performances, listen to music, and enjoy seasonal foods. The water splashing is seen as a way to wash away bad luck and enter the new year with a lighter spirit. Alongside the joyful atmosphere, many families still visit temples to make offerings and pray for a peaceful new year, demonstrating the blend of street festivities and religious life. In contrast to the vibrancy of Thing Yan, the Thadingyut festival is more subdued and solemn. Based on the legend of the Buddha returning to earth after preaching to his mother, this festival emphasizes gratitude and filial piety. In October, thousands of lanterns are lit at temples, on the streets, and in front of every house. People prepare small oil lamps themselves, arranging them in rows to symbolize the light of wisdom. In many places, children visit elders and receive blessings, making the festival a time for connecting generations. The Phang Dao U Festival at Inle Lake, Shan State, reflects the deep religious beliefs of the local community. Taking place in the 9th lunar month, the festival is highlighted by the procession of Buddha statues on dragon boats passing through villages along the lake, combined with boat races and folk cultural activities. The elaborately decorated boats, steered by oarsmen standing on one leg, create a very characteristic image of the Inle region. The festival season concludes with the Taungi hot air balloon event, held in November. Originating from the custom of releasing lanterns for blessings, the festival has gradually developed into a large-scale hot air balloon competition. Colorful hot air balloons soared into the sky amidst music and fireworks, symbolizing joy and hope for a peaceful new year. Number 13. A flavor challenge for tourists. Mohinga is considered Myanmar's most iconic breakfast dish. Since ancient times, it has been a familiar breakfast for laborers and has gradually appeared at festivals, carrying cultural significance beyond a simple meal. Mohinga also reflects the community spirit as people gather at small roadside stalls to share breakfast. Its distinctive flavor comes from the rich fish broth, combined with lemongrass, onions, and garlic. When eaten with soft rice noodles, boiled eggs, and crispy fried tortillas, the dish offers a warm and comforting feeling. In contrast to the familiar mohinga, fried insect snacks offer a more challenging experience. Insects are often fried whole, with their eyes, wings, and legs intact, making them both intriguing and cautious to eat. When chewed, the crispy shell makes a distinct sound, while the natural richness of the protein, combined with local spices, creates a flavor different from regular meat. For many Western tourists, overcoming initial apprehension is the most memorable part. Shan noodles offer a lighter and more approachable experience. Fresh rice noodles are served with chicken or pork and seasonal vegetables. The meat is slow-simmered to create a natural sweetness, while the noodles are blanched just right to maintain their chewiness. When the bowl is served, the steam, combined with the aroma of garlic oil, creates a warm and inviting atmosphere. The standout flavors are the light broth, the nutty taste of peanuts, and a hint of sourness from lime. While Shan noodles are easy to eat, duck blood soup is a cultural challenge for many foreign visitors. Myanmar people believe fresh blood is nutritious and provides energy. However, its deep red color, metallic smell, and thick texture make many hesitant. The dish reflects the stark differences in culinary habits between cultures and is often only served on special occasions. Concluding the journey is lapet thok, a fermented tea leaf salad that holds a special place in the lives of the Burmese people. This dish is often served to guests and aids digestion. The soft, slightly chewy tea leaves, combined with crispy roasted peanuts and sesame seeds, create a striking contrast in texture. In many families, sharing a plate of lapet thok is also seen as a symbol of togetherness. Number 14. When experiences come with risks. When traveling in Myanmar, visitors should be aware of the diverse terrain, ranging from plains to high mountains, while transportation systems in many areas remain limited. In rural and mountainous regions, roads are often in poor condition, lacking signage, and phone signals are unstable, making navigation and communication difficult. To minimize risks, it is advisable to hire a local driver instead of driving yourself, carry a paper map, download offline maps, and inform your hotel or relatives of your itinerary. Nighttime travel in remote areas should also be avoided, especially on mountain roads prone to seasonal landslides. Visitors should exercise caution when entering areas with ethnic conflict or controlled by armed forces, such as Rakhine, Shan, and Kachin. These areas often have checkpoints and patrol forces. For safety, follow advisories from the embassy and official sources, avoid border areas, and always carry your passport and other identification documents. If planning a trip to a remote area, it's advisable to travel with a licensed guide and register your itinerary with the local authorities. When entering temples, visitors must go barefoot to show respect, even if the ground is hot or dirty. This can cause scratches or skin irritation. Preparing disposable socks, antibacterial wet wipes, and regularly checking your feet will help reduce the risk. Avoid stepping in areas with standing water after rain, as these may contain bacteria or mud. Power outages and water shortages still occur in some areas, especially during the hot season or in remote areas. This affects device charging and daily life. Visitors should bring a large-capacity power bank, a small flashlight, and enough bottled water for each leg of their journey. When booking accommodation, prioritize places with generators and arrange a flexible schedule to avoid being caught off guard if power outages are prolonged. Number 15. A different standard of living. If you plan to study, work, or live in Myanmar long-term, knowing the cost of living beforehand will help you manage your finances more proactively, especially since there are significant differences in expenses between regions. The biggest expense is usually rent. In central Yangon, a one-bedroom apartment costs around $350 to $500 per month. In areas further from the center, prices are generally lower, ranging from $180 to $280. The suburbs are usually quieter and suitable for those who want to save on living expenses. Daily transportation is relatively accessible. Buses and minibuses cost between 20 cents and 60 cents per ride. Taxis and ride-hailing services for short distances are usually $1 to $2, while daily car rentals range from $20 to $30, not including fuel. Many foreigners choose to use motorbikes or scooters because of their low cost and convenience for getting around the city. Food costs depend heavily on lifestyle habits. If you cook your own meals, food expenses are typically around $100 to $140 every 4 weeks. Eating at local restaurants costs about $1 to $1.80 per meal, while higher quality restaurants usually range from $3.50 to $70. Many people combine grocery shopping at traditional markets and supermarkets to balance price and quality. Monthly utility bills are usually around $25 to $40, while home internet costs $15 to $25. Overall, a single person can live comfortably on about $500 to $700 per month. With frugal spending, total expenses can drop to around $400, while a more extravagant lifestyle could push this figure above $900. If you found this journey exploring Myanmar both interesting and full of unexpected perspectives, please like the video to support it, share it with others who also love exploring the world, and leave a comment telling us what impressed you most about Myanmar. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next stories about countries you thought you understood, but actually didn't.